I have interesting and diverse panelists here because we have from the brand and we have from the stores and from the IT network distribution also here. All of these people are literally interesting. They have an interesting story to tell. I would prefer to start off with Rishi because smartphones being the most interesting thing that we would be owning in this time. Around 1.39 billion smartphones were sold in 2022. And Rishi, from nothing, is into this entire space of he's looking after the entire region. So I will ask this question to Rishi to begin off so that we have an interesting take on the panel itself. Rishi, you are into the market dynamics. You look after the region. Before I ask you to introduce the other panel, Rishi, tell us about the brand as such, and why do you think the topic is interesting?
So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Srijit, and thanks to Integrator and thanks to FedEx for selecting this particular topic. I think it's a debate from last 2 decades that online versus offline, physical retail stores, and their importance, or industry is going to move to online. So this very interesting topic, very relevant topic, and I would like to start with one of the quote which is given by Kunal Behel. He was a co-founder of Snapdeal, and I'm talking about quite few years back. And what he said very particularly, it's not about online versus offline. It's about online plus offline. So that's how the industry is. If you look at most matured markets as well, there's significant contribution coming from e-commerce. But if you drill down the numbers, there is a lot of contribution which is coming from omni-channel retail as well. So, and for me particularly, I was the retailer for almost 10 years. In my life, I worked with Sharaf DG, with Reliance Retail. Those were very initial days when organized retail was coming to India in 2008 when I joined Reliance and into electronics industry. So that time as well, it was a lot of discussion that traditional retail will die and organized retail will become successful. But we are sitting here after 15, 20 years and traditional retail is still there. Organized retail is also thriving and then online is also growing. So yeah, so this is a very precious topic for me, very close to my heart.
So, Rishi, I think you've given an extensive explanation on the topic. I will ask you from here if I have Gopal's take on this. Gopal, your grand stores, how things balancing out with you. Tell us a few things that you feel interesting is going to play out in the coming decade, and how about grand stores having a big physical store. Do you still say feel it's the same thing that both are important? I know both are important. What's the most important for in this both forms?
Sure. Good evening, and thank you to initially thank you to FedEx and Integrate for hosting such a beautiful event. I completely agree with what our partner has said. Basically, online and offline, it complements each other. Grand Stores as a company with around 40 years in the industry, we have around 37 showrooms in the UAE. Over the past 3 years alone, we have opened 8 new showrooms. The recent one in Alhambra Mall, Samsonite, and one in Al Jimmy Mall in Alain, again Samsonite. Uh, Totally, there is, like I said before, it's complementing each other. We have a full-fledged e-commerce platform that started off in 2020. That was when COVID was at the peak. So in fact, I shouldn't say this, but it helped us to, literally it fueled up the, everybody was online, they wanted stuff and they went online and they purchased and we were quite amazed. We didn't do anything, literally nothing to promote the e-commerce platform. But after COVID, I can't say that the sales went down on our e-commerce platform. No, it still is going up. But at the same time, people are still walking into our showrooms to look at the products, to feel the products, because we have products like Nikon, Fujifilm, we have perfumes, we have luggage. So we have different showrooms, and people are literally, they still want to feel the products. They want to get expert advice. For example, if a Nikon product is worth like 20,000, a good lens is worth around 20,000 dirhams, people would literally come to our showroom and they would test, they will try, and they have questions. And this is where the showrooms, the importance of showroom lies. These are the base stations where we look into for developing customer relationship, to build loyalty, and to position the brand. So I wouldn't say that e-commerce is more important or the physical stores are more important. They both are equally important for us. And that's the way we are looking forward as well.
Gopal, that's almost balancing out things. But when I move on to Jason, I'm going to ask you, if I'm buying a printer, where should I go for e-commerce, or should I buy it from, go into the store? Because printers, we have a different case. Now you can balance me out by saying both are important. I can go, all that. So give me an interesting perspective on what you think, and how is Epson, as a sales director, how do you look at things from there?
Yeah, thank you, and thank you very much to our hosts, FedEx, and obviously to Integrator Magazine. Yeah, I think from an omni-channel customer experience point of view, it's equally important, right? Today, consumers are omni-channel, they're online all the time, they're shopping all the time. I think even everybody in this room, I'm sure, has bought something at 10 o'clock at night when you thought, ooh, I've forgotten something. You didn't need to go to a store, but it was available to buy at that point in time. What we've experienced with consumers, particularly around our EcoTank brand and a lot of our printer products, or projector products for that matter, is consumers are more tech savvy today than they were even 3 years ago. As you mentioned, COVID was a big turning point in terms of online versus offline. Both have now become, with consumers, they're either searching online for what they want and then going into store to confirm that that's what they've actually seen, what they've understood, the recommendations that they've read, the reviews that they've read online. They come into the store. They might seek out confirmation from an in-store promoter or an in-store subject matter expert, but they are ready to purchase. And I think that's when we talk about marketing and the funnel of consumer behavior. It is exactly that. It's being ready for the consumer when they are ready to purchase. What we've seen with many of our retailers, including Grand Stores as our consumer, yes, people will buy online when they've done possibly their own investigations in store. They went into the store, they looked at various different models, they said, okay, I like the look of that, that fits my budget, that fits my profile. Then they go back home, because as consumers, we all believe it's cheaper online. Right? And so that is often the case, is that consumers come into the store, they browse around, they seek their confirmation of their purchase decision, and then they execute online. And that's the important thing from a brand perspective, is to be ready for the consumer when consumer's ready to buy. And I think that also spans across mobile phones, consumer electronics, and other things that we choose to buy in our daily lives. Thank you.
Jason, it's interesting as you said it's cheaper online. I mean, that is the perspective or the perception here. I'll ask questions on that later, but let me go to Jay Kumar with this question. Jay Kumar, you have 24 plus year plus experience in the market, and I believe you lead with 36 odd brands in ASBIS. Tell me, what is your story and how was it went back then, and how was it that was everything as easy as Jason said? Everybody had a review, and then they just come in and just talk what I want that product, I want this product. How did you deal with the distributors at that point of time, and how was it like then? Now,
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me on this panel. Uh, it is a very interesting story, yes. Spending a lot of time, you make me feel I'm too old. But a few days back, we had a new recruit at our ASBIS, and we just were having an orientation. And over that, I discussed with him how the technology has changed. Because when we started distributing 24 years back with ASBIS, hard disk drives for personal components for PCs was 2 GB, and it was this fat. And today we are 4 terabytes. You can't name it, and you can see it, it's so sleek and slim. Same with Intel processors. We were in the Pentium age, Celeron age. Today, Core, i9, 13, all those things are there. So it's interesting because things keep on changing, and we need to accept the change. And evolution comes only when change is there. So changes are most welcome. And coming to the pertinent question of physical stores and all this, I have a very, I would say, a dramatic story to say on this. Like past, present, and future. In the past, my father, who's from India, we had only 4 metropolitan cities, and he used to go for specific technology. We had to either go to Mumbai or Delhi or other 2 cities. But today, in present, I have the option next door, by the click, everything. And future, I don't know. Maybe I dream and it comes. So, so this is how it works out. So technically, we are in the best phase. This hybrid model is one of the best ways, and definitely there cannot be offline or online, at least from my side. So we are in a good space, I would say. Presently, I would say I'm in a very good space, and still we are supplying what is required.
Chekumar, I guess everybody is playing safe here. Now I'm going to ask the business side of this questions. This is not the way to be it, but I'll take it for now and I'll give this Nikhil this choice. Nikhil, tell us about the technology side of HTC Vive. You have the glasses. Is everything going to be super cool? Are we going to be Superman or the physical store aspect? And I know you would be loving to hear tell that this is going to finish off. This is not the game anymore. Tell me about your story and any interesting facts that you can point out which side are we going in?
Sure. Firstly, pays to be last. We've got four different opinions out here. Firstly, thanks to the team at Integrate and FedEx for having us. Look, I mean, I've been through a very exciting journey at HTC, from being a legacy Android manufacturer for the last 20 years, and always trying to position ourselves as an innovation brand. We transitioned and stepped into the world of virtual reality and mixed reality back in 2015, primarily for gamers. Today, that's evolved considerably into a kind of a term that people don't like to talk too much about, which is metaverse. That's something which we dabble with as well. We've got a business unit called Viverse, which typically creates to enhance that online and offline experience in a digital environment, right? So to answer your question, I think to summarize, it's more like one unified experience. At the end of it, we at HTC call this a singularity. There are different technologies powering that one consumer experience. It could be 5G, virtual reality through our headsets, the content base, AI, all these different layers or a tech stack, but there's just one experience. So some interesting examples I can talk about. We actually powered a project with a local brand called Rasasi Perfumes. And they wanted to get consumers to experience this very powerful ingredient called agarwood, which is pretty much like the caviar of perfumes. And they wanted consumers to experience the journey of selecting that wood in a forest, going through that digital space, and then going to a factory and mixing whatever ingredients you want. The challenge here is, though it looks visually very appealing, I'm not able to actually experience the scent or what I've actually created, right? So that's where we kind of close the funnel with these guys to actually get the consumer to the store, and they're able to experience what they've built in the metaverse experience. And that transitions into a customized bottle saying, let's say Nikhil buy Rasasi and I make my own customized perfume bottle. Now, what that tells us is, aside from the fact that there's a massive element of convenience from the online buying experience, you are also indulging into a lot, and that's where we come in also. We're pushing that limit in terms of getting people to experience physical touch points in the digital space. So you start getting into steps like bodysuits, haptic gloves, where I start getting pressure points. I can increase temperatures. So that could probably be in the future something which you start buying and you start experiencing it in the metaverse experience as well. So just giving you guys where we're headed towards.
So Nikhil is going on the futuristic side of business. I know the entire business of his product lies there, but I'll get back to that. Let me go back to Rishi now. Now this is where things get more serious. Rishi, tell me, where is the business coming from? Is it from physical stores or is it online? What is Nothing's strategy in the market, and how is Nothing approaching new markets as well? I understand new markets you would be more to e-commerce. How about the established markets such as UAE?
So let's not put it into UAE, let's put GCC in perspective. And of course, UAE and Saudi, both countries are in forefront of e-commerce revolution, and where after COVID in 2020, it was plug and play, right? So it's like a nitro in a car, that e-commerce business jumped like anything. As we speak, the overall e-commerce business in GCC is sized at around $29 billion and expected to grow by 2029 with a CAGR of 10%, which will be around $50 billion in next 3 to 4 years. And of course, fashion and smartphone, these two categories are forefront of that entire e-commerce business. If you look at numbers, 38%, 39% business, e-commerce business comes from fashion and a smartphone. So for e-commerce, a smartphone is very, very important. A smartphone sales is growing on e-commerce portals. And there's one very, very important aspect to it. So in smartphones, one is that uh, it's a very established commodity. Everyone needs this product. Without this product, there's nothing, right? So if you look at, you said we are living in a smart era. No, we are living in an intelligent era. So we are transforming from a smartphone to, intelligent phones era right now. So a smartphone is everything. You are controlling your life with a smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, I think you will find yourself miserable, right? So that is very, very important in terms of online sales, and online channel is also very, very important. PwC did a survey, I think last year they did a survey. 48% consumers in GCC, they visit online every week. So it's not every month, it's not every year. 48% consumers in GCC are visiting online every week, and that's a very, very big number. Now, both channels are complementing each other, where it's very easy to showcase your entire brand, your innovation in terms of information on online channel, right? So it's very, very easy so you have SIS, you have information, you have pages, you don't have a space issue, which is an online. So you can put as much as, information, experience there. So yeah, business is coming from online. Online is growing. It's an important channel. At the same point of time, uh, for the brands which are new, which are not established brands like nothing, So we are the brand. So what we said is our brand promises and our vision is to make tech fun again. And what we do is we make best tech products for young and creative people. And all young and creative people are there online, right? So they're reading about it. Uh, so being a new brand, we opened our first store in London. And why we opened the store? Because what we call is, uh, the founder of Story, she said that retail stores are the theaters where brand comes to life. And this is very, very important. So you can't really build an affinity. You can't really build a brand. You can't deliver an experience just only online if you are innovation led, if you are bringing something different. So our brand ethos are transparency, innovation. And we brought that to experience that. We established our first retail store. Even when we launched our GCC journey, when we started with two retailers. One is Sharaf TG in UAE, and second is Zarid Bookstore in Saudi Arabia. And the third retailer was Excite. And all three of them, technically, if you look at omni-channel retail, where we had physical experience and online experience both together. And then we ventured in e-commerce as well. And both channels are now, of course, important for us because consumers are there. Uh, so from nothing's perspective, wherever is consumer, it is important to be there. For new brands, it's more important to deliver that experience. And even for older brands, they are bringing new technology to experience, to convince consumer about your product, about your technology. That physical touch and experience is very, very, very important. If you look at recently, I think Tim Cook was here, right? So Apple CEO. He announced one more store in UAE coming in. He announced the first store which is coming in Saudi Arabia now for Apple. 28% of Apple's sale, which is icon, right, bringing new technologies and very, very established brand. I think on credibility, it is, it will be rated 100 out of 100 to consumers. Is still focusing on retail stores. And in these retail stores, it's not only a transaction which is happening, it's the overall experience, bringing affinity. If you look at they're delivering that experience which you can't even imagine. So they are also training consumers there in the store. So physical stores are very, very important along with online stores. If you are an innovative brand, if you are a new brand, or if you are a brand who is keep bringing new technology.
I understand if you, brands like nothing are new into the market, but relatively you are taking up huge space also. But Rishi, I'll come back to that. I'll ask with Gopal. Gopal, what is the relationship that you guys have with brands? How do you look at brands? New brands, old brands, or is it just business? Which brands gives you the more business? How do you look at things from there?
See, every single brand have their own strategy and their own vision. As Grand Stores, as a distributor, we cater to them. So, for example, Samsonite as a brand, they would like to open more showrooms. Nikon as a brand, they would like to have more showrooms. So like he correctly said, these are the experience zones, immersive experience zone, where customers would love to come and experience the product, to test the product, to try, and to ask questions. They want to feel the product. Probably, again, I would come back and say that it depends on the nature of your business, the products you are handling, and your target audience. Probably if you are selling to the new generation of students, they would easily go and purchase online. They're not quite bothered about, feeling and touching and experiencing it. They don't care. They would, if they didn't like the product, they'll just say, let's return it. That's it. But uh, a generation which is a little bit matured, they literally would like to go out, try the product, and ask questions, build relationships. It's a completely different generations we are talking about. Because I have both at home, and I know how it works. So that's what it is. And like I'll come back in terms of the brands. Yes, we would again open new showrooms, and that's the way we are looking forward. Definitely, physical stores are not going to
Gopal,
disappear.
I'll just cut there and ask you. I'm asking you from a grand store. How do you look at? Are you looking to absorb more of new brands because that will sustain your business in terms of physical stores, or are you looking to play with established brands? How is that experiment going on? How are you looking at from that factor? I understand from the other side. How is it there?
Yes, we are open for new brands as well. It's not that we'll only cater to the existing brands. As a company, as an institution which has been in the market with good market knowledge, good contacts, and good logistics system, and we would definitely love to have more brands on board. As of now, we are the single largest distributor of imaging products in the UAE, and we are more than happy to bring more brands.
Jason, Rishi was saying is a new, because since we are a new player in the game, that's why Epson is long established, and is long established, and everybody knows the name and the brand. But how do you see the relationship with the stores, or and how do you see e-commerce, platforms as well? So, do you think since you're an established brand, it's far easy for us to go out and do the business by yourself more than going through the, or you can go directly with the distributor and convince the enterprises or the market that we have the best product in the game, and so hence our products go out more. How do you see? What is it there?
So I think to answer the question, I think it's from an Epson perspective, yes, direct to customer, you're always going to gain the most insights about the customer behavior. You'll be able to understand their preferences, and you'll be able to learn a lot more about what the customer is going to demand when they've made that purchase. When is it likely that they'll make their next purchase, particularly in printing? When might they need ink? When might they need paper? And when can you sell other accessories to that consumer? So I think linking back to physical and non-physical, what we've seen over time is that even today in the UAE and the rest of the Gulf, most of our printing devices certainly are sold through physical stores. Even though customers might do a lot of investigation and understanding online, they still go and execute about 70% of their purchases through physical stores. So for us, we need to create obviously the best customer experience in store where we can be able to showcase what the product is capable of, potentially outperform our competitors, use the logistics capabilities of our distributors in order to make sure that we've got the lowest cost to serve by the time the product gets to market. So yeah, we go through a lot of those. In terms of the platforms that we would use, I think we would always err towards those platforms where we have the right alignment with that platform, that we've got the right financial capabilities with them. We've got a good understanding in terms of the brand direction and also what their direction is, because in most of our online platforms, we always deal with this platform, as we would say, the 1P retail platform of an Amazon or a Noon, where they're selling as the retailer, or is it going to go through their marketplace? Because marketplace creates a difference in customer experience. Amazon, how many of us are Prime customers on Amazon, right? That is, in order to benefit from that Amazon Prime experience or a Noon experience, you would want that to be coming directly from Noon, because it gives you the confidence as a consumer that you're going to have a place that will be able to return the product potentially to. You'd be able to reach out to them in the case of something going wrong with the delivery or other services that you might need down the line. Whereas in a marketplace experience, are you necessarily getting the genuine product? Particularly when you start talking about supplies and other products, right? So we need to, and we work very closely then with those platforms in terms of making sure that we have the right marketplace players on the platform, and that we're able to secure the brand IP as well on those platforms.
Jason, I understand you're selecting the platform. It's always, how the business plays out. I wonder, the others, Jaykumar and Nikhil, to take it on from here, because I was saying I'm feeling it's a little getting calmer also because of we're talking on the business side. Jaykumar, you have relationship with all these brands. Tell us what's their perspective and how do you think, what is the market that is they're looking into? What is the dynamics like in case from the business point and from the strategy point? Which works the best?
Look, currently, what I feel, it's my personal opinion, then I come to the this thing. I think physical stores like lifestyle products as Biscaris, which are premium brands like Bang& Olufsen, Loewe, those cannot be bought online. You have the specifications, you have the details and everything, but still you have to go it on experience center and experience it. How the sound feels. I think so 90% of people will agree on this. Maybe 10% won't agree, but 90% will agree. Such specific products, consumer electronics also, we are not buying a chopper, which is very common, but you're buying a premium product. For sure that, and people are spending money, and I think so even brands are spending money for this experience centers and demos, especially for the gaming part also, where the gamers can really see it, although everything is available on the net. And so this is what I feel. Experience centers are made to really experience it, and specifically this premium products cannot be bought online. This is what I feel, and even I think so most of the brands are already investing in this. But as we say, the hybrid model works, so we go with the flow. This is how the dynamics work. This is as per me and as per our strategy with our partners.
Let me ask Rishi, and then I'll go to others also. Give me some good conclusions that I can probably tell what's going to happen in that regard. And Rishi, tell me, how do you see this? Jason just said most people go to physical stores. I mean, at least a 15-year-old. That's where your game is. Nothing is going to be. It's going to be fun. So you're looking at a good younger audience. How do you see that, Rishi? You still believe what Jason said?
So in the today's scenario, you can't really differentiate that he is online customer and he is offline customer, and that's a harsh reality. So there are people. There was a retailer who is a very big retailer. I can't name it. They did a survey in their store that how many people who are coming to store experiencing the product, and then from the store itself going online and checking the price of the product. You got me, right? So people are visiting stores and they're checking pricing online, they're checking offers online, comparing products online, and maybe they're experiencing product in a store and buying online. That is also happening. And it's a vice versa as well. So the people, for example, young generation, right, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and they are influenced by influencers or media, reading about it, all reviews, unboxings, and all those, and buys a product. For example, glyph interface, right? So we touched upon glyph interface, and it's just not light, right? So it's a real technology where you don't need to look at your phone's screen. So for example, we guys are using Uber, right? And when you call the taxi, you keep checking where is my cab, right? So in glyph interface, the light glows, and as the taxi progresses, the light progresses. And when the glyph light is complete, means the cab is in front of your door. So that's how you use the glyph. Same thing with power meter. If you put your phone on charge and then you keep looking at how many percentage, but you don't need to look at the screen. The glyph light switches on, and once the battery is fully charged, it's 100%, the light shows full. Same thing, you can put notifications. This is my wife's call, daughter's call. You can't avoid your wife's call, right? So in any meeting. So you can differentiate callers based on glyph lights without even looking at the screen. So all these experiences, all those technologies can be explained in a physical environment. But now there are consumers who are 15-year-old, 16-year-old. They buy the product because they got the testimony and credibility for influencers and all those. And once they buy the product, then they walk into the store and they ask our promoters or sales executives that how this product works, how I can use this product, how I can use this particular feature. So this is also happening. So it's very difficult to differentiate. Yes, there are generations of product. Preferences are different. Younger generation is more inclined to use online platform as their first buying preference, and then maybe offline, maybe second preference. But it's very difficult to differentiate them and put them into two different baskets. That yes, definitely he is online below 16 years, and this is offline because he's above 16 years. So that is very, very difficult. You can't really differentiate between consumers. There's both the modes. Customer goes to store, buy online, goes online, comes back to store.
Rishi, I'll take that as a conclusion for this one as well. But let me ask you if you have multiple wives, that's going to be a problem now.
No, we have multiple glyph interface. Don't worry. And you have pattern as well, and you can customize as well.
Oh, that's great. Anyway, so you were all, for every kind of personality, you were having, nothing works. I'm taking from here the conclusion side. Gopal, how do you see it? And give me what is the conclusion here? And then from Jason and Jaykumar, and give me some added value and then conclude with the topic.
See, basically, we human beings are social animals, I would say. We cannot even imagine a high street without shops, with a world without shopping centers, right? I cannot. I don't know about others, but this is something which, as a human being, I'd like to go out. I'd like to experience the world and have a joyful life. And of course, my 12-year-old boy, he would definitely buy a printer online. Definitely, he will do that, I'm sure. But at the same time, as he ages or as he matures, he will understand that there is a world outside, and that is something which I need to explore and enjoy as well. So definitely, I go with saying that, of course, e-commerce will complement the brick and mortar stores. But that doesn't mean, like I said initially, that's the end of the world. No, they both complement each other. Ages before, when telephone came, I still remember my parents telling me that when telephone was new in the village, they said that people are not going to travel because they can call each other and they're not going to travel. But no, when computer came, they said that many people will lose their jobs, and that's the end of people doing jobs and everything. Where are we now? Similarly, AI is coming, and we think that that's the end of the world. I don't think so. It's we who are going to train the AI to help us. It should never be the other way around. You should never allow somebody to dominate human beings, or we as a human force. So that will be the end of the world, and I don't think somebody knowingly will do that. So let's keep it complementing each other, like what has happened previously as we look into the history. And that's the way forward.
So complementing each other. Jason and
I'm definitely going to favor on there is a place for both. I think there's a lot of disruption still to come to many parts of retail. We can only look at fashion and the impact that Shein has had on fashion, where I look at my daughter. She doesn't go and buy clothing in store any longer, right? Because she can go onto a catalog online, she can select the items she wants, it gets delivered to the door. The items she doesn't like, she sends back immediately, right? There's no physical need to go into the store and buy, right? That's disruption to the fashion industry, right? If you want to experience those sort of high-end brands and high-end fashion, then yes, you will need to go to store in order to experience those, because you wouldn't get that experience online, right? So I'm definitely going to go where there's a need for both. But there's still a lot of disruption. If we look at the motor industry, if you had said to Henry Ford when he first brought out the Model T that someday you'll buy your car online, he would have gone, you're mad, right? But look at Tesla today, right? Tesla today, even if you're going to the showroom, you still purchase the car online, right? Through a web platform. So the disruption's going to come. What it will finally come out as, I think, is going to be a beautiful blend of both. But as I said to you, I think there's still a lot of disruption to come.
I understand disruption is going to come. Jaykumar, I know I don't want you to say that. I'm sure with all these brands, coming into your business fold, you will be having a different story to tell.
Yeah, while listening to them, I just remembered a few days back, my son was visiting me. So he said, Dad, I want to buy certain things. I said, let's go to the store and get it there. So we went to the store, and this particular thing was not available over there. He said, Dad, I said you wasted my time coming here and coming back again. Now again I have to go, now I have to order it online. So I don't know what would be the real answer. We still believe physical stores are important for the experience, as everyone is saying, for experiencing it. But online is the reality, and let's accept it. So I would say a hybrid model works till now, till today. I don't know what happens next. So it's nothing playing safe, but this is a practical example which I gave you. I like a layman. Everyone will connect to it.
Layman will connect to it. I know Nicholas smiling. With the glasses on, this will come like a daydream. How is it going?
Exactly. Look, definitely it's here to stay, but there's a massive insight that we've been, since you're in the gaming business, you today have, Gen Alpha pretty much, who look at consuming at least 2 to 3 hours today in a metaverse or a spatial or a digital environment, right? So what are those environments? Everyone in this room would know Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. You are talking to children who in 10 years or 15 years time would be in their early 20s or late teens, who would be very familiar with that environment, and they are native to digital environments. For them, a shopping experience today, when you speak to your children or natives to these gaming platforms, they value their identity in that immersive environment as much as they value themselves outside. So they are as particular about what their avatar is going to wear. They're willing to spend actual fiat currency for those props in that digital space to look and make sure that they look in a particular way. So when they give or associate so much of importance to the platform, I think it's but natural that you're going to see a massive, and I agree with what Jason said, there will be massive disruptions in how the future generations are going to view buying or even experiencing physical and digital worlds. There's going to be a massive kind of convergence. I think it's going to get distorted at some point in time. And then AI is going to play a massive role in it as well. So it's going to be fun.
It's gonna be fun. So let me give you. This is the conclusion that you. But my conclusion would be, if you have good products and you have timely delivery, lots of things can skyrocket. Your entire business can skyrocket. And I believe which is where FedEx can really help all these brands and the dealers. So it was great having everybody on the stage. I truly enjoyed the panel discussion. I hope it was not so boring for the audience as well. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful rest of the program.
Thank you.